Everybody that voted for this needs to feel fuck Tom Homan, fuck Stephen Miller, and fuck Trump. You let us down. You surrendered. You lost. Think about how they played these people up. Stephen Miller is autistically thinking about how to deport more people. Tom Homan is the man. Dude, Tom Homan went to Minneapolis to wrap it up. Trump sent Tom Homan to Minneapolis to facilitate the retreat, to facilitate the orderly surrender of ICE to the fucking communists and the Somali scammers and the illegal immigrants. And that is exactly what happened. I don't want to hear anything different from the plan trusters. That is exactly what happened. They went in there because of the YouTuber. They went in there because of Nick Shirley to deport the Somali scammers. They decisively lost. And Tom Homan was deployed to facilitate the orderly surrender of the city to the Jewish Democrat mayor, to Tim Walz, to the Somalians, to the illegals, to the Democratic Socialist hicklibs. And that is what has happened. And they have nobody to blame but themselves. You can't blame the Democrats. You can't blame Biden. You can't blame anybody. That's on you. That's on Stephen Miller. That's on Kristi Noem. That's on Tom Homan. And ultimately, that is on Donald Trump because the buck stops with him. It comes from the top. You can't blame bad advisors or bad personnel because he hired all of them. That is Trump's fault. You feel.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Wagner Report. I am your host, the Wagner Report, and we're going to be watching and reacting to episode of America First 1640.
If I don't make you feel despair, you and your shithead idiot family and friends, you're going to do it all over again in 2028. Okay, bookmark this. Screenshot this post, save it in your camera roll, and put a keyword on it so you can AI search it in 3 years. Mark my words. These people that are still trusting the plan, these people that are still coping, same game.
Yeah, when JD Vance takes power, it's not going to be good for anybody because that's just going to be the start of the same shit that we're getting right now, just even more. Especially when they propel it an amount that, it's not going to be good at all.
And I said, I'm not voting, and you shouldn't either. I said, I'm not voting unless he explicitly commits to actually remove everybody, actually implement an immigration moratorium, and specifically refuse regime change in Iran. And everybody said I was crazy. Everybody said I was a plant. I'm a Democrat. Everybody said it's the FBI.
A lot of people already knew that they were going to go towards Iran because in October 2023, I think shortly a month after that, they already started trying to attack and did file a lot of missiles at Iran.
Because they are preparing you, they're getting you ready to do the same. He gets sprung from jail. Charges dropped. He was facing 8 years in prison. All of a sudden, no legal problems. And just as quickly, he's on a jet to New York for this party. And he's in the New York Fashion Show, and then he's going to this after party. And the after party is hosted by Remelia Corporation, which created this NFT called Milady. Now, you don't need to know all the details. All you need to know is it's a teal adjacent project. It is a Peter Thiel adjacent project. You have this scene in New York City.
It's so funny how the Republicans are so pro Peter Thiel when he is probably the most gay person to ever live. And he talks about the Antichrist constantly. Like, if you imagine a billionaire that's the most annoying, it'd either be 3 people. It'd be Bill Gates, be Peter Thiel, it'd probably be Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not that annoying. He's just a little autistic. He's memeable, but...
And Passover press and all this kind of stuff. And anyway, they all hang out. And this is where Clavicular is going. He's going into the belly of the beast, into this Peter Thiel art collective wannabe tech scene in New York, and he's popping up there, and it's very random, and everybody's kind of wondering, what is he doing there? And is this in any way connected to his invitation to the Peter Thiel party, or the fact that he was just sprung from jail?
They're all connected.
Because he gets sprung from jail, and now he's at this party, and these guys are not particularly famous. They got a little bit of money, a little bit of zork, so maybe they got paid, you know, who knows? But the timing was a little weird. So he pops up at the party, and I saw all these people.
Holy Clavicular is now in a Mossad Israeli agent.
No emotion at all. They said, wow, we turned it all around. We're winning. Clavicular's gonna be at our party. And I was just watching the stream. He pulls up to the party. He's there for 30 seconds. Everybody there's a total freak. It's like a freak show. Rizless chuds coming up, trying to shill their NFT. The manager comes up and tries to kick him out. She gets fucking mogged. She gets literally mogged to death. She falls apart into a million pieces. They tell him he can't film. He turns around and leaves after 10 minutes.
Chad.
You know, a lot of people don't really know what that is, and maybe they don't really know the significance, but
This is so fucking funny.
for the people that do know, so delicious. Actually delicious. And this is just a little piece of advice, okay? This is a little reminder to everybody in Dime Square. This is a little reminder. Here's a little piece of advice for everybody in that scene. You are not cool. You are fucking lame. Your entire scene is lame. You suck, and you are nothing. And you will never, ever compare to the Groypers. You will never have the same or even remotely close to the same level of cultural relevance and motion and effortless authenticity and aura as the Groypers, because you are nothing, because you are fake, you are Jewish, you are propped up by fucking weird defense tech chief. There were rabbis. Laura Loomer was there.
There's always there's always that group of people.
It is the most Jewish shit you have ever seen in your life. And they all think they're so cool, and it's like, you're not cool, you're fucking Jewish.
They have no
And
aura.
anyway, so I was kind of like, I saw he was gonna be at the party. I was like, son of a bitch, like, but no. Wang halves are undefeated.
Yeah.
They just got mocked. So anyway, so I was enjoying that. I don't know if you saw the stream, but it was great. I don't even know if he knows who those people are, but he didn't even need to. Because he showed up, he felt the vibes are off, and he left. And that's who you are. No,
He left right away. He was like, nah, this is not cool, and he left. He didn't even know who the people were or anything. He just like, nah, that's not it. And he fucking
cool, normal young person shows up to your
He
party
saved
and
himself,
is
guys. He
disgusted.
saved himself.
An actual cool, normal person shows up to your party. He is there for 5 seconds, and he is disgusted. He sees exactly what you are. It took him all of 10 seconds to see exactly what you are. He saw right
Jewish.
through you.
The Jewish machine.
And he left. And that is going in the GQ article. It is going in the GQ article. And still has like no.
I don't really like Sneeko, because Sneeko is just a big cuck, but that's just my opinion. I mean, I'd rather be single than be in a cuck relationship. I don't know if you guys are weird like that, but I'd rather be single than be in a cuck relationship.
So I literally come into Sneeko's stream and I'm like, hey, I gotta get some Zam water. And dude has zero chill. He just starts ruthlessly attacking Catholics. He's like, oh yeah? Well, Catholics baptize their babies like this. I'm like, dude, like, relax. I'm like, I'm out of here. I come into the stream, I'm trying to hang out, and then it's just like Catholics catching strays. He's attacking the Pope, shitting on me. I'm like, is this how you treat your chatters? Now I
He's
know
one
what
to
it's like
talk.
to be a super chatter. I'm literally in the chat just being like innocent and making a joke. And bro took it personally. Bro declared a jihad. I literally go in the live chat. I'm just having fun.
He couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it. He can't take what he dishes.
Have no chill at all.
They don't.
Can't say anything. I wasn't even making fun of it. I was just saying like, Zam Zam water, LOL. Holy cortisol spike. Story tonight is all about Tom Homan, who announced at a press conference this morning that the...
You pulled out like a pussy. You pulled out. Everyone knew it was going to happen.
He got up today and said that the surge of thousands of Border Patrol and ICE agents is now officially done. And after they initially withdrew 700...
Oh my God, we're so successful. We deported 500 people. Wow.
And it's over. And this is the story.
Minnesota,
Targets
they don't do
are
anything.
Getting blown up, and Marriotts are getting torn down, and it's anarchy in the streets, and 2 Americans are dead, and ICE agents are getting beaten to death with shovels.
Nightmare Fest, showing the level of stupidity of the ICE mission that failed horribly. I live in Minnesota, and all I saw was stupid retards holding up signs protesting, and all the things where you have the bridges over the roads. If you guys live in Minnesota or know what I'm talking about, you have bridges over the roads, and these guys, mostly women, but these guys are just holding up signs and getting people to honk for the most retarded statement that you could ever hear. It'd be like something like, ICE is gay, which is kind of funny. But anyway, what I'm saying is that the protests in Minnesota were never going to work. It's never going to work with a bunch of retards, especially in the Minneapolis area. So I don't even know why they even either go hard or go home. And they obviously went home in this route when they could have gone hard. And when they went hard, well, then they killed people. So it was kind of like a non-win situation.
4,080 days. Dude, it should be 4,000 every fucking day.
It should
be 4,000 per day, not 4,000 in 2.5 months. And that's your big operation.
When you compare the numbers between the Obama administration, the last Trump administration, this is probably the most lackluster. You know, they had a big talk game that we're going to deport everybody. And you know, you guys want to know something? I don't know if you guys want to hear me yap or not. This is the watch party, but Trump, I don't know if you guys remember, but on his first few interviews, first becoming president, he talked about how the public was going to see a little girl get deported and everyone was going to be against it. Or someone was going to get killed.
I'll tell you what's going to be horrible.
That's exactly what
when
happened.
We take a wonderful young woman who's with a criminal, and they show the woman, and she could stay by the law, but they show the woman being taken out, or they want her out, and your cameras are focused on her as she's crying, as she's being taken out of our country, and then the public turns against us.
If someone gets arrested for murder and they go to jail, the police will give that person to ICE. So they're saying, we don't need 5,000 ICE agents in the city because now we have an agreement where if someone gets arrested for a horrible violent crime, well, then they'll just get turned over to ICE. And this is a relief? This is supposed to be good news?
Horrible.
That's an Obama-era policy. That should already be happening. That is already happening. That's a given. Of course, if someone gets arrested for a violent murder, they get deported. Of course, they get turned over to ICE. That's the status quo. They already do that.
Yeah, it's
But more on that in a moment. It says Homan acknowledged internal failures in Operation Metro Surge, noting he increased internal affairs presence in Minnesota and informed officers there is zero tolerance for misconduct. He also said he required Border Patrol agents to embed with ICE officers who have more experience with internal enforcement, beefed it up. I think he doubled those numbers, increased them by 50, 100%, and he bolstered that with Border Patrol to deal with the protesters. So you have a small contingent there to make the arrests of the illegals
And doing that got people killed, which made them pull out in the first place. So not only are they fucking up their own mission, they're putting themselves on a holster, and they're targeting the wrong people, which targeting the protesters is going to make one extreme side happy, obviously, but also going to halt and just ruin the whole plan in the first place. So honestly, all they're doing, like Nick said, is buffering and looking strong, but instead all that's going to happen is they're going to ruin their own plan and mess up somewhere somehow, which is going to cause the public reaction to be poor, to be not great, and to lose a lot of support, especially over a killing that is either justified or non-justified, which in terms is a total failure.
It all makes a big reappearance. And this is where we are in January. And this is actually the moment of decision, okay? It's all, you have to understand, everything is building up to this point. And when I say everything, I mean everything. When Trump ran in 2016, he said, we have an illegal immigration problem. There's way too many of them here. There's way too many coming over. We have an open border. We need to build a wall and kick these people out. And he has fought so hard for 10 years. The election of 16, the impeachments, the fraudulent election in 20, the Stop the Steal, the J6, the indictments, the assassination, elected in 24. It is to deal with this problem. It is to deal with the globalization of our country through population replacement.
He went through all of that just to have one of the bombing Iran and all this stuff, which is completely unnecessary except for Israel, right? Except for Israel. But on the surface, when you actually look at it, the Trump administration has been crap. They crashed the stock market. The economy is not getting much better except for gas and oil, which was going to go down anyway. And then now you also have the ICE deportations that aren't going to happen. They're going to be really low, weak numbers, or they're going to highly inflate them to look good, even though it's going to look the same. Same stuff's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. And like I said, nothing ever happens. So we can only hope and see.
Where the rubber meets the road, and ICE is finally going to go into encountering some pushback. It's not going to be easy. So here we are. We've arrived. What does Trump do? Well, like always, he completely and totally
collapses.
And unambiguously cucks.
He cucks. He
Chickens
collapses.
out, surrenders, capitulates immediately. He folds.
Horribly.
This was your moment. And by the way, an officer-involved shooting. And that's going to provoke more of a response. But this is the fight. There's a word for this. It's called a war.
It's a war.
Okay?
It's a civil war incoming.
And war is not easy.
It's a war against the people that are not
of human organization.
You know, if you really think about it, it is a war because there's 30 million people. We've already been invaded. We need to kick them out. It doesn't matter who they are, what color they are. We need to kick them all out. And we haven't even got to the legal part, but the illegal part shouldn't even be happening at all. We have enough people here, and more people than we even say we have.
Realize this. You know, there were a lot of people when these protesters got killed who said, you know, I support mass deportations, but not like this. There's no other way. How would you physically remove 10 million people from this country and not make any mistakes? How would you do it? How would you remove 10 million people without asking somebody, do you speak English?
It's inevitable, and that's why it's so hard, because you're gonna kill some stupid people that are trying to get in the way of it. So for forethought, it won't happen unless we usher in total authority. If we don't usher in total authority when it comes to the immigration issue, especially the illegal immigration issue, nothing's going to be done. And that's what this administration is.
And
the failures of inaction, of not doing what you're supposed to do in this situation.
I like that. And it's inevitable that guys like that are going to be created by a policy like this at volume. So this is the fight. And if you're not willing to stomach some dead agitators, if you're not willing to stomach some brutal tactics to put down these protests, tear gas and riot shields and all that stuff, if you can't stomach family separation, if you can't stomach the militarization of ICE, then you don't want mass deportations. And you know what else? If you don't want mass deportations, then you get a mass amnesty.
Yeah, and it's not going to
no
work at
other
all.
option.
It's not going to do anything for this
You
country.
either get all of that with mass deportations, and if you don't deport 10 million people, then 10 million people just got an amnesty.
Yeah.
30 million people just got an amnesty.
This country has already been invaded. Think about it. We have an approximate population of about 20 million illegals, possibly 30 million. And if you add that to our total population of people, that's around 400 million people in the United States, which is still not enough to break the country, but is very, very close. Because all these people have Social Security, all these people pay in, they're net negative. Like Somalians, on the other hand, there's been many, many studies showing they're about a negative of $980,000 per person. You take 5 million Somalis and you times that by basically $1 million. What is that, like $1 billion? And that's just on the net negative they're gonna put, which is gonna be even higher than that. It's gonna be even higher than that.
It's necessary that it's necessary to get to the conclusion to go through these things. The only way out is through all of this. And what does Trump do at the moment of decision?
He collapses, totally collapses. He doesn't do anything good, doesn't do anything about it. He pulls them out.
Calibrating. Remember? Before Renee Good was even shot, before her body hit the floor, the White House was talking about changing the strategy and recalibrating and focusing on those so-called criminal illegal aliens. Remember? Then Renee Good got shot, and Trump went on a press conference and said, "We're only deporting the criminals." Then the other guy got shot. They relieved Bovino. They pulled out 700 ICE officers. Kristi Noem started talking about body cams. Stephen Miller started blaming everybody else.
2 people die, and it's over. It's over. What do you do about it?
They did it in a graduated way over the course of a month. And now in the middle of February, they say the whole thing is over. We're pulling everybody out. What else would you call this other than an utter surrender? This is a total surrender. And I see a lot of Trump supporters saying, no, that's because we won. No, they're not all the ICE agents are leaving. What else would you call this? And how do you think the left interprets this? You have the John Brown gun.
They see it as total victory. And now they're going to know that when they do this, nothing gets happened. Which we already expected it. But nothing is going to happen. They're going to celebrate it. It's only going to get worse.
To some other state. We pulled 700 out 2 weeks ago. Now we're all leaving. What kind of message do you think that sends to the left?
We're weak.
Well, it's obvious to anybody who isn't delusional. The message that this sends to the left is that agitation works. If you dox ICE agents, if you attack their cars, if you interfere in their duties, if you riot outside their hotels, if you riot in Target, if you scream in their face, they will leave. If you increase the unpleasantness, if you show up and cause problems, well, the Trump administration has no balls and they will leave. If all you have to do is go out, all you have to do is go out and bang on pots and pans, all you have to do is go out and break the laws, run over some ICE agents, and they will back down. They will retreat. In other words, you will get what you want.
Yeah.
Rioting works. You don't like what the government is doing? Just riot and they'll stop. You don't like that the government is deporting illegals? Just riot outside their hotel. Dox them, intimidate them, attack law enforcement, and they will stop the thing that you don't like. They will leave. And do you know what happens when you send that message to the left-wing agitators? They do more of it. They get emboldened. You just taught them something, which is, if we riot, we get our way. So what do you think they're going to do more of? They're going to riot more.
Yeah.
They're doxing, swatting, attacking Trump administration officials. Stephen Miller are right. We have the law on our side. These are cops. This is federal law enforcement. The illegals shouldn't be here, and the agitators can't beat up law enforcement. And we gave up.
They can, but they will anyway.
We could use the law. We could use ICE. We could use the $200 billion for DHS. And we could throw all these fucking people in jail. And we would have every right and it would be legal.
But they would never do it.
And we have a mandate to do it. We could put these people under the jail if we had the political will. What's stopping us? Not judges, not Democrats, nobody. You've got
Public
how many
perception.
ICE agents did they hire? 12,000?
Yeah.
You got the detention space. You got the budget. Isn't that what the big, beautiful bill was all about? This was a decisive confrontation over mass deportations and against the left, and Trump blinked, and he lost. And what does that say about the country? Who's really in charge here?
Israel.
Well, we just sent the message that the anarchists are in charge. Think about it. Illegals are squatting in our country. The actual native-born citizens.
The anarchists want nothing. Their whole goal is to kill people and to kill government in itself. So there's no winning. There's no winning.
This is not right. This isn't fair.
If you guys are in the live stream, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You know, follow if you want. We're having a live stream. Drop a comment if you're in here. That'd be great. Make an account.
You fucking people have no right to be here. You're not refugees. You're not asylum seekers. You're economic migrants. You are here because it is preferable to live in our country that our ancestors built as opposed to your shithole country.
Yeah, and they're overall a net negative to the country. So not only are they taking exactly from the country, they're coming in swarfs and many, many, many numbers. And it's self-evident.
And our quality of life, the order in our society. We go to the illegals and say, hey, get out. Well, they just vetoed that decision. We elected a president to physically remove them, and they vetoed that. No, we're not going anywhere. Again, we have law enforcement. Law enforcement is going in, arresting the agitators, the illegals, the protesters. The agitators are breaking the law. It's disorderly conduct. It's borderline insurrection. They're running checkpoints. They're vandalizing private property. They're assaulting law enforcement, spitting on them, punching them, vandalizing their cars. Once again, who's in control here? We elect a president, even in the other case, to deploy the National Guard to restore law and order in the left-wing cities.
And he doesn't do it.
In Chicago, in D.C., in New York City, in L.A., what do? They riot. Once again, who's in control? The criminals. The agitators, the communists, the anarchists.
The criminals are in charge of the country. And that is why nothing is going to plan. And that is why you see these cities and they're literally just shit fest. Because nothing is going to stop someone with these entitled beliefs, especially of anarchism, to go and destroy these wonderful cities and show themselves, like I say. The population shows itself through its setting. So you have people that hate the government, hate the city, hate people, what are those cities going to look like? And that's self-evident when you go to these cities in the first place. But people who love their cities, like Des Moines, all these people, specifically Republican cities, they're often way, way, way more nicer. And there's not many out there. But the Republican cities or the Republican cities, governed cities or the Republican cities that are just mostly Republican in terms of their population and, the people that love their country. Maybe they're not as exciting cities, but they're nicer, more peaceful, almost sometimes economically better or more stable.
DC. On our behalf. Wasn't that the shtick? Fight, fight. Fight, remember that? Remember when Trump raised his fist and said, fight, 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 and they said that 6 million times at the convention? Trump is gonna fight, he's our voice, he's gonna win for us. He is a bitch. Trump is a bitch. He chickens out.
He's not gonna do anything.
I mean, what do we have to lose here?
Everything.
You wanna know why they surrendered and retreated? Because they're worried about the midterms. You wanna know why? Because the Chamber of Commerce called up and said, we don't like all these protests in the Target parking lot. We don't like all these protests outside our Marriott hotels. That's why. Because the Republican conference called up and said, hey, we're going to lose the midterms if this keeps up. This is really unpopular. That's why. That's why they're stopping. It is a decision that Trump made. Trump could do it. You're the president of the United States. You won the election. You have the law on our side. He could do it. He won't.
The problem with Trump is that he's scared of the public opinion. Almost every single belief he has is subjugated on, obviously his sides, but his side's public opinion. So most people that are Republican in America are pro-Israel. Most people want stability. Most people want commonality, and that's why that Trump is scared, because he doesn't want to, the administration doesn't want to be perceived badly. That's why when you saw Pam Bondi in the Congress, she looked like a joke, because she's trying to defend exactly what they are trying to present in themselves, especially in the media, and especially when people are looking at the administration itself. They want to show you what they want to show you. And the biggest scandal they have now is obviously the Epstein files. And they're going to focus on covering their asses on that part. But when it comes to immigration, illegal immigration, all that stuff, they're going to walk that back to get more public support. All those Republican establishment people, those people making Instagrams and TikToks and everything, people on the Republican side, the more neutral Republican side, they will show a sense of strength and talk about, we have so many deportations, and we guys should defend these deportations because they're justified, and basically not including the fact that they're not doing anything. They're putting out these weak numbers that don't even matter. 20,000, 30,000, 40,000? What is that? That's nothing. That is literally nothing.
Eradicate ICE. They're going to abolish ICE. They're going to open the borders. They're going to undo everything Trump did, and they're going to go in the complete opposite direction. And this is what I warned you about. These are these second-order consequences that nobody wanted to think about. Remember in 2024, I said that if we elect Trump and he doesn't do these things, if he shits the bed, that he is going to be an albatross and he's going to drag us all down. He's going to get blamed for everything, and we're going to get someone far left in 2028. But everybody said, yeah, but we need to buy more time, and he's the lesser of two evils. Remember? Nobody wanted to think about that long-term effect. Nobody wanted to think about those second-order consequences in 2024. But now it's becoming very apparent why a second Trump administration might not have been the best idea.
I mean, we don't know what we were gonna see when Kamala took office. You know, if anything, it was gonna be way worse.
Oh.
But
And he utterly failed. It didn't happen. And he tried, and he backed down. He tried to do family separation, tried to get a border wall.
anyone's that watching right now, make sure to like, follow, comment in the stream if you want to. If you're watching without an account, make an account and follow me. That would be amazing. I'm going to be streaming a lot more. And yeah, I hope you guys are stay tuned and check it out.
Dissents, by the way. So, Tom Homan has withdrawn us from Minneapolis. That's over.
Yeah. So
How do you think we're going to get mass deportations
We're
now?
not.
What does that look like?
we're not.
We deported 230,000 last year. You'd be lucky if you get 1 million total by the end of 4 years. How do you double that number? Well, to double that number, you need twice as many ICE agents, twice as many arrests, twice as many deportations, obviously. How are you going to do that in any major city after this?
You're not.
How do you
can't.
go into a major city where the illegals are and start rounding them up in much larger numbers than you did last year after what just took place in Minneapolis? It's going to be the same. You go into New York, Chicago, LA, Houston, Dallas, it's going to be the same story. You try to get these deportations up, it's going to involve a huge ICE presence that's very visible. The illegals are emboldened, they will resist. The agitators will respond and turn out. It's
going to be a continuous loop where the ICE agents try to do their job on how minuscule their task is and how, how unimpressive their numbers are going to be, but still there's going to be left-wing agitators and nothing's going to happen. We're not going to deport many people. I expect by the end of this term there's going to be maybe 1.2 million total deportations, if any, close to that number. It's going to be pitiful.
be illegal, they'll be turned over to ICE. That's the agreement. So this is the end of those mass deportations, which are achieved with sweeping patrols and raids in neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's not.
And this is the beginning of targeted enforcement. An Obama-era policy where they only...
Yeah, nothing's going to happen. We're going to lose our country slowly. But if he switches and people get more radical and start, the right side starts becoming more radical, which could preemptively cause a civil war. But perhaps if we did do that, then maybe we'd have a lot more deportations. But they're too focused on covering the Epstein files thing. They're too focused, especially with Pam Bondi in the Congress. They're too focused on that. They're not going to deliver the deportations that we want. They're especially not going to go hard when it comes to what they were saying they were going to do. And Trump talked about it in one of his first interviews becoming president. He said, in quote, people are going to see a little kid, a little woman, a little girl getting rounded up and deported, and the media and the people and the public perception's going to hate us. And that's exactly what happened. They killed 1 or 2 people. If there's more, obviously haven't heard about it because they were probably, justified. I mean, both of them, except for the Alex Pretty thing, was probably justified. But anyway, what I'm saying is that they're not going to deliver ever. They're completely ignoring it. And if they turn around and have a 180, that'd be great. But they're not groypers.
The Democrats will demand that everything be defunded until ICE is effectively hamstrung and abolished. So you think it's going to get better? It's going to get worse. This mass deportation thing is on hold. It is on an indefinite pause while Republicans try to salvage their party in the midterms. But they're not going to do anything risky or... Remember that?
Yeah.
Whenever it's a photo op for one of these issues...
They are clearly painting the picture to have Vance run in 28. That is their whole plan. That's why they're getting Palantir. That's why they're getting the anti-Semitism stuff set up. That's the explanation for everything. They're setting up a Vance run. And if I were you, I wouldn't vote. But if you want to vote for Vance, you can vote for Vance. But you're going to get what you're going to expect. On the optimistic side, No. On the pessimistic side, yes.
For Ed JD when ICE is retreating from Minneapolis and giving the city to the anarchists and the communists. Where's our guy now?
Nowhere to be
Is
seen.
he only there when there's a photo op? Is he only there when he can make a pitch to the base for the 2028 Republican primary? Because when this administration's crashing and burning, he's very careful about not being anywhere in proximity then. Very careful not to appear. He's not really working behind the scenes, not really in front of the camera either. Where's our guy? Where's Stephen Miller? Where's JD? Where are these people? Where are all these based people that are going to run our government for us because Trump is out to lunch? Where are they?
They're gone.
Stephen Miller, you're a man. You're a human being. I mean, are we going to let our country go without a fight? Look at it.
If you guys want to understand what to do, it's very important that you start the movement. And what do I mean by start the movement? I mean, you need to be creating accounts. You need to be spreading ideas. You need to be doing everything you can possibly can to spread the message. And in a few years, or in 10 years, possibly, so in like James Fishback, for example, could possibly run for president if he's not killed for some fucking reason, which I hope he's not.
Just mean mugging. You are a cuck. You are an idiot. People talking about Stephen Miller. He's our base Jew.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't Stephen Miller a Jew? Doesn't he hate white people? Doesn't Stephen Miller, whatever his name is, I see his bald little head ass and I say, what the hell have we got in our administration? I'm just astonished.
All this shit about Stephen Miller and Tom Homan. It's just like we're a joke. I lose my mind because that's all I see on Twitter is this slop. Base Stephen Miller, base Tom Homan, and these people, they're so amused with themselves. They're so smug. And look at the outcome. So predictable. Total cave.
Just
total
shit.
surrender. Chickens out like he does on everything.
Nothing good's
Where
gonna
are they
come.
now? Where's
No.
base Stephen Miller now? Where's our base Stephen Miller and his wife Katie, the Jewish American princess? Talking about her Jewish... Cenk Uygur's attacking my Jewish kids. For crying out loud, take your own side.